Now imagine you're Colonel Sanders at age 40. You've already had a lifetime of heaviness and experience, and you've lost your way more times than you know how to count. But you've always done two things better than most: sell and fry chicken. This is the story of Colonel Harland Sanders and 5 things that made him successful. Colonel Sanders didn't grow up with a business plan. He grew up with a survival instinct.
I used to work here on this farm when I was a boy. This was the first job that I ever had. I worked here for Charlie Norris. I was 10 years old at that time.
His father died when he was 6. By the time he was a teenager, he dropped out of school to work farming, laboring, and taking whatever job paid. Through his 20s and 30s, he'd bounce between jobs like insurance sales, railroad work, and even a brief stint practicing law before getting into a fight with his own client in court. Nothing stuck, nothing lasted. But that's the thing about survival. It teaches you how to adapt. Sanders didn't know it then, but all those failures, they were shaping his grit, his ability to sell, and most of all his refusal to give up when the odds looked fried and finished. Now we've established that the Colonel had more jobs in one lifetime than most families combined, but around his 40s, something changed. He opened up a service station in Corbin, Kentucky, and when folks came through hungry, he didn't just fill their tanks, he filled their plates. Fried chicken, mashed potatoes, biscuits, served right out of his kitchen. That little operation turned into a restaurant, a reputation, a way forward. And just like that, the highway moved, and the customers stopped coming. At 65 years old, with nothing left in savings, Sanders did what most people wouldn't. He packed up his pressure cooker, put on his white suit, and reinvented himself again. This time as the Colonel. He started licensing his recipe, going door to door, restaurant to restaurant, selling belief in a flavor. That's reinvention. Not for vanity, for survival with vision. Now most people chase success. They chase titles. Sanders chased consistency, even if it didn't look glamorous. He didn't own a chain. He wasn't building some massive empire. He just wanted to make damn good chicken, sell it honestly, and help other restaurants win. That's why franchising clicked. It let him stay focused on the core of what worked: the recipe, the process, and the flavor, not the storefronts or the status. While other entrepreneurs wanted to be moguls, the Colonel wanted to be in alignment. Make it simple, make it repeatable. Give people something they'd remember after the last bite. He wasn't just selling chicken, he was selling trust. Crispy, golden, and cooked under pressure. Harland Sanders didn't become the Colonel by rank. He was awarded the honorary title by the governor of Kentucky in the 1930s. But it wasn't until later that he leaned in and turned the title into a brand. The white suit, the black string tie, the carefully styled goatee. It wasn't what colonels wore, it was what he decided what a Southern gentleman should look like. It was a signal that he believed in his product enough to turn himself into the brand. He didn't hide behind a logo, he became one. Every founder faces that choice. Be a name on an invoice, or be the name people remember. Colonel Sanders didn't just sell chicken. He sold a persona that people trusted, even if they didn't know the man behind the myth. At 65 years old, Harland Sanders hit the road with a recipe, a pressure cooker, and a pitch. No marketing budget, no investors, just belief and a plan to prove it one door at a time. Over 1,000 restaurants turned him down, but he kept showing up. Not because it was easy, but because he finally understood. No one was coming to save him. Success wasn't something you were handed. It was something you licensed, knocked for, and negotiated over and over again. And when it finally worked, it worked big. Colonel Sanders didn't build a brand by luck. He built it because he stopped waiting for permission and took ownership over the thing he did best. Thank you for watching.